reparations HBCU funding? Is reparations minority business loans? Is reparations catfish nuggets? What's reparations? What's reparations? What's reparations?
All right. Testing. All right, so we're about to do interviews for the Reparations March in D.C. at Freedom Plaza. You know the vibe.
So I flew in this morning from San Francisco. I'm flying back out this afternoon at 5 o'clock back to San Francisco. I just want to make my body part of the body count out here. And I believe in reparations. I mean, we are owed a debt, not just for the slavery, but for all the things that we built up and it was stolen over the next 150 years after slavery. You know, everybody gets their paper except us. And we may or may not get it. I have a tendency to believe we will get it, but it's about the fight. It's about the fight more than anything else, because that's what we come, a history of fighters.
And one more question. What's other questions? Do you think reparations should be cash payments or should it be something else?
I believe it should be number one, cash payments. Number two, tax exempt status for the next 400 years. Okay, and then three, a Freedmen's Bureau where we get free health care just like the Native Americans, and we get made up for the educational gap that we have. But number one, cash payments.
Appreciate it, bro.
What's up, y'all? This is Tarsha. I'm from New York, and I'm here today at the Reparations Rally. So I am a foundational Black American. My mom, she was born in Sumter, South Carolina. As a child, her and her family actually picked cotton to make money for the family. So, you know, my family, we've been here. We've always been here, and it's time now that we get paid back for all of our hard work, for our sweat, for our tears, for our labor. We built this country. We're here to stay. We're not going anywhere. So today I'm here with my husband. We brought our baby daughter. She's 4 years old. She's running around. She's out playing. But, you know, we want her to grow up seeing that her mom and her dad were fighting for what she is owed. And it may not be in our lifetime, but we're hoping that in her lifetime she's going to get what's due to her.
Last question. Do you think it should be cash payments or something else?
Oh, we want everything. We want cash. We want land. We want grants. We want crime bills. We want tax-free status. We want everything that everyone else has gotten here in America.
And I approve this message.
I came here for unity and to see our people and let my children see how we need to come together and spread the message and be in support of the message of reparations.
I live here. My grandfather got here in 1906. My grandmother got here in 1907. So this is hometown, so I need to come down here and make sure I represent properly.
And what do you think reparations should be? You think it should be cash payments?
We start. It's not just one check. There's an initial check, and just like the Jews they get money every year. We want the same thing that the Native Americans get, which is land, the tax exemption, and the special class status. There's a couple more things in there that we ought to get, but when it comes to when they keep talking about the HBCUs and all of that, you can forget about that. There's white people on HBCU campuses right now. You got Spanish people that's getting scholarships on HBCU campuses right now. So don't let them talk that HBCU stuff. Don't let them talk that we're gonna give you housing stuff, because basically if they give us housing, we just giving the money right back. We want land. We want some of this federal land that they got set aside that has fresh water on it, that we can grow crops on it, that we can build on it, and we can make our own. There's a lot of trick bags in that as well, but we just got to do our due diligence to make sure that when it's written on paper, it's ironclad and not written in a forked tongue like the Native Americans would say.
Native Americans were mistreated and they're not complaining, so why are you blacks complaining? Well, the thing is, these people are not complaining because they were compensated. The Irish, who were indentured servants, they got something called freedom dues after their contract ran out. They got money, land, and weapons. They were compensated, then they were brought into white society to join all the benefits and reap all the gains of being white. When the Italians were lynched down in New Orleans, there was a situation where there was a mass lynching of Italians. Their families were compensated, and the country of Italy was compensated, and the Italians were allowed into white society to reap the benefits. The Native Americans, we know the red ones, they were compensated. They got to broke off all types of money, and many of them enslaved us as well, so they need to be cutting a check too. The third rebuttal that they have for us is, well, if you want to get reparations, FBAs, why don't you go to the Africans who sold you? Have y'all heard that one? Well, I say to that, number one, the African who sold us, well, he got a one-off. Number two, those countries don't exist no more. Those countries over there were colonized and they were absorbed into the white European power structure, so all of their resources were drained. So they need to get the resources from the white power structure in Europe that dominated them, while we're getting money from the white power structure that dominated us, the United States government. Another rebuttal, they say, well, all white people didn't even own slaves during slavery. So how are white people responsible? We didn't all own slaves. But it was a slave economy when everybody benefited from the slave economy. So if you were a white person in the 1800s working for the train station economy was built on the resources that were taken back and forth from the south to the north. So you owe. If you worked for an insurance company in the 1800s, yeah, you didn't own a slave, but you were insuring slaves and you were making money off slavery. If you were a white person in the 1800s working for a bank or a factory, you were getting all the raw materials and refining it in those northern factories, benefiting from slavery. So the whole economy was based on the labor of our foundational Black American ancestors. The next rebuttal is, well, my family came over after the Civil War. So I wasn't even here during slavery. So how do I owe? When your family was over there in the slums of Europe, they heard about a country that was built up off the wealth from the free labor of our ancestors, and they knew that that wealth was mass distributed from our hands into white society and locked in racially, and they sat over there in Europe and said, sign me up, I'm going to go over there and be a part of that. So since you want to be a part of it, you're part of the debt, and you owe too.
That boy spit.
The sixth one they say is, well, there's already been reparations paid to black people. Welfare and affirmative action. Number one, welfare was created for white women in the 1930s. Number two, most welfare recipients in America are white people in middle America. The welfare capital is Owsley County, Kentucky, where 99% of the people are white and on welfare. That's the welfare capital. And as far as affirmative action, we know that affirmative action benefits white women more than anybody. So is affirmative action reparations? No. And the last thing they say, family, they say, well, listen, why should I, as a good white person, be on the hook for something that I didn't do? Why should my tax dollars pay for something that I didn't do? I didn't own a slave. Did any of you remove red Native Americans from your land? Your tax dollars go to pay for them now. Did any of you put people in concentration camps in Germany? Your tax dollars go to pay off some of the victims of the Holocaust. Did any of you put Japanese Americans in internment camps in World War II? But your tax dollars go to pay the Japanese families. Did anybody here fly a plane in the World Trade Center? You know some of your tax dollars go to those victims too. Did you create a war in Afghanistan? Millions of your tax dollars go to the Afghanistani people. Did you cause a war in the Ukraine? Millions of your tax dollars go to the Ukrainian citizens. So since we're giving all of that tax dollars to these people who are not even citizens for the most part, we're going to make sure the real compensation and the real check is going to be cut for the people who deserve it, who built this country from the ground